So could you possibly start by giving a brief introduction of who you are then?
Yeah, my name's Ronnie Bage. I'm the Drug and Alcohol Education Officer for Darlington. My responsibilities within Darlington is to work within all of the school settings around drugs, alcohol, smoking, etc. My main job at the minute is the social norms survey, where all 6 schools take part in a survey and we ask them questions around drugs and alcohol and smoking, etc. And we use that as a needs assessment, and within that we can look at which year, which age group are using drugs, taking drugs, not taking drugs, and then we feed it back within the schools around that. Well over 9 out of 10 young people don't smoke, don't drink and don't take drugs, so we use that as a positive campaign. On a professional side, with this teaching side of it, we look at the needs and then we teach and deliver education, drug policies, write lessons, create schemes of work and work with the schools and the drug and alcohol action team.
So what do you think are the main health issues then for young people within smoking and alcohol abuse?
Well, the health issues within smoking, obviously the cancers and the smoking at a young age, and that it's really addictive, and there is well over 9 out of 10 young people don't smoke in Darlington. However, the ones who do, what we've tried to do is we've got teaching staff within the schools trained as smoking cessation people, so they can actually prescribe the young people patches, nicotine gum, lozenges, etc. So we are looking at all of the issues around smoking, and obviously schools ban smoking within the grounds, and it's against the law to smoke in the school grounds. So a lot of young people who get caught smoking seem to get expelled. So we're looking at ways now to get the young people from refrain from smoking. So we need to set up schemes to give them support, information, advice, and we do a lot of lessons around it. The health implications is that obviously the missing school, the missing break, the going on break time smoking, it's the health and the risks attached. The health attached to the drugs and alcohol is appearance, personal appearance, not eating properly, obviously the risk of harm, infections with drugs, obviously contaminated drugs, not knowing what's in the substance, criminality, so you've got the risk of breaking the law, and obviously the risk of dying.
What services do you provide then for these young people to try and prevent them?
The services provided in Darlington is the Switch Young People's Drug and Alcohol Team, which is a Tier 3 service. Basically each school would refer a young person or the parent, or it's voluntary actually, it's a confidential service, and this gives the young person the opportunity to stop taking drugs. And basically the Switch Young People, the Switch team, they would look at the cause, the risk, how they can do to prevent it. They can do harm minimisation, brief interventions, they can do an health check. So that's the main service within Darlington for drugs and alcohol. And there's other services within the youth side of it who would look at the Tier 2 services, which would be brief intervention, etc. and information.
So how would a young person access these health services if they felt that they needed to?
A young person can self-refer. Whilst I'm in the schools, the Switch is promoted within the schools, within all of the staff. So most young people in Darlington actually know that Switch is around. They know that it's a confidential service. They can phone up and say, I've got an issue with drugs, alcohol or smoking, can you support me? They can do that. The parents can refer, youth side can refer, the schools can refer. And again, any young person can access this service.
So what advice then would you give to a young person that may be in this situation?
If a young person in particular it was taking drugs and they knew they were addicted and they were struggling to get off the drugs, I would offer them and give them the opportunity to get referred to be seen by Switch. And again, it would be to promote the fact that they're looking at their own health, their well-being, and obviously looking at ways to get them off drugs.
Yeah, that's everything then. Thank you. Couple of seconds again. Right, there you go.
My main role within Darlington is to work within all of the schools, all of the settings within the schools, and to work with the teachers, the headmaster, and all the pupils. And basically it's to do with substance misuse, everything within the school.
Go.
Yeah, the first thing really I want to say about the switches, they actually are the specialist within Darlington. There's no one better in Darlington placed or trained anywhere than the switch team. So they are the experts within drugs and alcohol. And they've got trained nurses, they've got a social worker nurse, social worker who looks at the social side of it as well as the drugs, because there's a lot of legality and law around house and etc. So that they've got a specialist provision in there. They've got a team there that are experts within alcohol and drugs. They can offer alternative interventions, i.e. acupuncture, brief interventions. So they are the specialist service for all young people, and their role is anybody aged from 0 to 19. Basically they look at young people from as young as 9, 10 up until the age of 19, and then from 19 it becomes an adult service which is called the Gate. And we work with the schools in identifying the young people who are in need of a Tier 3 service, and that includes working with the switch, so the school and the switch, and my role is to promote the switch within the school, and to get these young people who are in need. By doing the survey, we've highlighted that there's over 500 young people in Darlington who are in need of a service, and it's about working within the schools and the switch team to identify these young people. And that's probably one of the main and biggest roles within Darlington, is to get the support for the young people.